Okay. It said I went live, and then it wasn't live. That's a bit strange. I'm just fiddling with a few bits and pieces while people filter in. What do you guys think of the music? It's a little bit of stuff I have the license to. But yeah, I'm just you know, faffing about a bit at the beginning of the stream because that'll give people a chance to, you know, pop into chat. Ba bum ba 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 bum bum bum. Yep, good. It seems like it's actually streaming properly this time. Fantastic. Okay, Skype's all talking about arses. That's good. Okay, hello Sean Beck, Sea Monster Kate, Minderland and Quads. And there's a couple other people that looks like they're in the chat channel, but they're not saying anything. Oh, and Sam the LPer. Well, hey, we're getting viewers. Viewers are increasing. That's always a good thing. I like it when viewers increase. Yay! So yeah, got some music playing in the background. It's like a 2-minute track, which is just gonna loop and loop and loop and loop. But I've got a license for it, so. Yeah, Fenton Bot has realised there's people chatting, so he's gonna start harassing you. It's cool. Yes, I have plans for Fenton Bot. Fenton Bot is gonna be cool. This wasn't originally in my notes for doing stuff. One of the things I'm going to be doing with FentonBot is on top of the gold and the betting and etc that FentonBot deals with, I can also set it up so you can go on adventures in the chat channel and earn gold and levels and stuff. I've just got to sit down and go through and all the scripts for it, and it should be pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to have a look. Okay. Right. Ah, that's why they're talking about asses. Okay, I've got it. Cool. Yeah, the way the adventure thing works is you've got a certain time limit, you know, so it's not going constantly because that would just start annoying people in chat. But every once in a while, everybody better join the party, and then it does a load of bits and pieces, and then figures out, you know, what you get from it. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Pantera FTW, for the follow. Yep, now my Twitch alerts are working. Yay, okay, right. I suppose I'll get started. It is, yes, Sean Beck, it is Sunday Bunday, which is why lots of arse pics have been spoken about. It's just in my Skype chat, someone's actually changed their profile picture to one of the butts they have drawn, which is why all the arse conversation. I really need to get better lighting for my desk because the background light is too much. I need a little bit more coming this way to even it out. The problem is the only light I've got is just way too white, and it just makes me look dead. I'm pale at the best of times. Yes, it was Andy. It was indeed Andy. Okay, so I'll get started with the bits and pieces that I wanted to talk about, shall I? First is just a general overview type things to do with one-shot D&D. I've had a couple of people make a couple of snarky comments about, donations and the like. One person even referred to it as D&D monetization hour. The reason why I have donations on my channel is pretty simple. I love doing one-shot D&D, I love doing the Crit Dome, I love doing all the stuff that I do. However, I've got bills to pay, which means that I have to do my web development job. However, if I have the less money I have to make doing that, the more time I have to spend doing this for, everybody. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to try and force people to donate, but people that do want to donate will make it so that there is more content going up on the channel because I've got more time to spend on it. But yeah, that's the only vague down note on there. I just figured I'd explain it once again because I've said all that before. I said it from the very, very beginning. On the topic of donations though, yeah, I know, but yeah, on the donations, they are going to start affecting the games. I've been working on this thing that I've been calling the momentum system. When you donate, you get to give momentum to the players, or you get to give momentum to the DM. And players and DM are going to be able to use those points to do things within the game. The full system will end up, when it goes live, will be in the information below the stream. Where at the moment you've got links to the donate button and this, that, and the other. It's not going to be completely insane. It's not going to completely change the game, but it is going to, make things a little bit more interesting. At least that's the plan. Next up is that hopefully soon I'm going to be comfortable enough with the channel that I'm going to be able to start trying to get some more guest DMs on the channel. So it's not just me running stuff. Either I'll be playing or I'll just be hanging out in Roll20 just so I can stream it. This, that, and the other. Whether these are one-shots or campaigns, it's entirely up to other people. Even if it's people that have got their games and they've got lower viewers than I do, and they want to try and up it a little bit, we can try and talk about things like that. It's just one of those things. Try and get it so we've got D&D going on all the time on the channel. Is the ultimate dream. Thirdly, as a general thing, is my work on the Bloodthorn Chronicles, which is my custom setting that I've been having ideas about for about a decade, and I finally started writing it down thanks to Critical Role, is finally getting to a point soon where I'm going to be able to run the first campaign of the Bloodthorn Chronicles. You can get a rough idea of the type of world that I'm talking about if you go through my Twitter for my links to and the pictures that I've put up regarding the various races that I've put together. There's also going to be a few custom archetypes, at least one custom class, hopefully more than one. I've got an idea for one which is quite unique. I'm calling it the Primalist, and everybody compares stuff to other stuff. Like if you're talking about Paladin, you'd say, oh, that's kind of like a hybrid between fighter and cleric. It's not entirely accurate, but for rash generalizations it does the trick. And Ranger's like kind of rogue druid ish. The one that I'm working on, the only way you can really describe it is a kind of blend between barbarian, druid and warlock. The idea being is they channel primal forces to they can enter a state, which is where the barbarian things like kind of like rage, but it's not rage. While in that state, they can't cast spells, but they can channel their spell slots to do various effects, including changing the nature around them, healing party members, and this and the other, including powerful melee attacks. It's going to be a lot of balancing stuff that's going to have to happen to it, because the idea is that they're going to be able to do a little bit of everything, but nowhere near as good as a class which is solely dedicated to doing that thing. That's the idea of it anyway. And it fits in very well with the Viridian Supremacy, which is the governmental power in charge of the continent of the Bloodthorn Chronicles, that I will be doing the first campaign within, which is run by orcs, but they're my orcs, and I call them the Udakard. So yeah, that's all happening soon. I'm hoping to have the first game of the Bloodthorn Chronicles before my birthday, which is April 21st. So, you know, sometime in the next couple of months. I wouldn't say jack of all trades. There's not really much of an arcane element to them, but a little bit of healing, a little bit of melee, and a little bit of utility in there. The idea being is when they're not in the rage form, they can cast druid spells, but their spell list is smaller. They're not going to be able to do everything that a druid can do. They're still going to get quite a few spell slots because the spell slots is going to power the main mechanic of the class and the whole point of them. But one of the things that the primary mechanic for healing is a thing that I'm going to do is when they enter a rage state. Each time, this, remember, is just currently thoughts and it has not been play tested, it has not been, you know, properly investigated, is that whenever they use a spell slot to power one of their primal actions, I'm getting ahead of myself. They can while in the state, they can spend a bonus action to create a link between themselves and an ally. Then, whenever they do a action which requires a spell slot to fuel it, they can heal hit points. Currently, I'm thinking their wisdom modifier times the level of the spell cast, and that gets split evenly, rounded down to a minimum of 1, between themselves and any allies they have marked. I haven't played a huge amount of Team Fortress 2. If you want to get an idea of where that heal mechanic is coming from, for me, it's the EverQuest 2 Channeler. But yeah, I've gone far more into that than I was originally intending. So yeah, I'm going to go on to the first, actual game-related stuff, which is Sports Ball and the Critterdome. So I'm hoping in the near future to have a one-shot D&D website live, which will have sections where you can register teams for D&D Sports Ball, register fights for Critterdome. I'm not saying individual interest because it's going to be fights, because the idea being, you can either sign up by yourself saying I want to fight somebody, or you can say I want to fight this person, or you can say me and this person want to fight that person and that person. Having the whole thing in there. Hopefully that will materialize sometime in the next month. At the moment, you've got the website which allows you to vote on what's going on. It'll be on the same domain and all that sort of stuff, but all groovy. Next thing up is I'm actually going to let you all in on this. I was originally going to keep this a secret, but I thought, no, I'm going to get the hype up a little bit. Around about the time that Critical Role hits its 1-year anniversary, we're going to do a very, very special Critterdome, which I'm currently entitling Critter Frag. The idea is going to be I'm going to have 6 players. Each of them is going to be a low level. We're talking somewhere between 3 and 5, something like that. Something which can die easily. And what we're going to do is probably a 3-hour game, and the way it works is everybody starts in the dome. Each time you kill somebody, you get the killing blow on someone, you get a point. When you die, when it comes around to your initiative, you spawn at one of the spawn locations, and rinse and repeat until the 3 hours is up. Whoever has the most points wins. So yeah, that's the Critterdome related news. And if it's popular, I'll try and do a frag based one once a month. Then Fenton's just pretty much told you how D&D Sports Ball works, but I will just read that out because it's a pretty decent description, because I'm about to talk about that. And that's that D&D Sports Ball is a 3 versus 3 PvP ball game where the teams score points by scoring goals or knocking opponents out. It's kind of a weird mixture between Blood Bowl, Avatar's Pro Bending and the Critterdome. I'm currently tweaking a load of extra rules into the basic D&D system to accommodate, things like the ball scoring, and making it so people can't just teleport around the field with the ball and all that sort of stuff, because that'll just cheapen the experience. Again, sports ball probably won't have a huge level amount on it, simply because you want it so you can knock out an opponent pretty quickly. Make it so it's a challenge to knock your opponent out, but it doesn't take forever. But on that front, I am going to start looking for teams. I've already got somebody who's going to be trying to put together a team, and so we're going to need other teams for for them to play and all that sort of stuff. When it becomes a regular thing, which I'm hoping it will, I'm thinking Sundays, because that's when sports ball happens. Probably around about 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST, 10 p.m. GMT. The idea will be it's going to be running on a time as opposed to rounds. So you spend however long. The idea being is when you run out of time, it's just a case you've been faffing about and all that sort of stuff. Half time's called, and then you run both halves. I'm hoping to do it so we have like a 4-hour segment on a Sunday and get 2 games in. That's the long-term plan. So roughly just a little bit less than an hour per half. 2 games each Sunday. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be relatively low level, so I'm thinking roughly the same as Crit or Frag, somewhere between 3 and 5, something like that. Obviously, if you guys have feedback on things that you think will work well, let me know. I'm on Twitter at Critical Mole, or there's at One Shot D&D. You can find me through the Twitch channel. Soon you'll be able to find me through the website. And as you can see, I've actually got a cable attached to my headphones at the moment, which is because last night after the D&D game I forgot to plug it in. I can probably unplug it soon and not have to worry about it. Okay, next we've got upcoming special one-shot D&Ds. Some of these I've mentioned in public, some of them I mentioned in more private arenas. One of them I haven't told anyone except for possibly 1, maybe 2 people in a private conversations about something that I'd like to do at some point, and I've decided I'm actually going to do it. So the first one, which is the one that most people know about, is the Hogwarts Adventure. I'm going to be running a one-shot D&D set in the Harry Potter universe. It's going to be relatively low level, because that makes sense, you're still learning. But I'm going to be it's going to be purely spellcaster characters. I'm including things like I'm including Druid in the mix, because that kind of makes sense for the more herbologist type people. I'm still umming and ahhing about cleric stuff, but it's mainly going to be wizards, sorcerers, warlocks. Mostly wizards and sorcerers, because those ones makes most sense. I'm also going to be adding a few tweaks to rules to make it more interesting and closer to the Potterverse. Like what I'm thinking is instead of doing spell slots, I'm going to be using the pure spell point variant system and probably upping the amount of spell points, even though I'm not upping the levels of the spells that they know or can cast. That way, they're going to be able to cast loads of spells left, right and centre, but they're not going to be hugely powerful, in casting, rifts in time and space. But yeah, that's the Hogwarts Adventure. I've got a list at the moment, which is about 18 long, of people that want to be interested in that. I'm still taking interest on that. So people know, when it comes to the specials, I'm going to be trying to avoid, except for the last one that I mentioned, for the first 3 that I mentioned, which includes this one, I'm going to try and avoid a case where any of the players are in multiple specials. So, that makes it up. I am, however, abandoning my rule about limiting the amount of seats that go to people that have played before, because with the specials, it's about getting the right party mix, and something that I believe will generate the most fun for the party and people viewing. I mean, yes, that's a priority normally, but with the specials, I want to make it even more so. Next on the list, this is another one which a lot of people have been interested in, and that is the Heist. This one is going to be a 2-part adventure. Part 1, the party will be planning the heist. Fairly simple. Then take that from there. I'll go off, taking their plans into consideration, and then run part 2, which will be the party performing the heist. Very, very simple. Inspired by, shows and movies such as Leverage, Ocean's 11, Hustle here in the UK, The Sting, all that stuff. The goal will be they need to get their hands on something, or do something like that, and it'll be up to the players to figure out how to do that. I haven't actually watched Payday, so it might be like that. I don't know. I've literally just watched an entire run through of all 5 seasons of Leverage. I've done that in the past week because I'm one of these people that I need to have something on in the background while I'm doing stuff. Oh, Payday. Oh, yes, I know of it, but I haven't played it. But yeah, no, that's the idea. Gonna have various people. I mean, I've got a few people interested in that one already. How many people have I got interested in that one? Heist. Okay, I've got 6 people interested in that one already. Funnily enough, 2/3 of them are female. Out of these ones, I thought it was going to be the Hogwarts one was going to have the highest percentage of women. I don't know why. I don't know. If you're interested in these things, get a hold of me on Twitter. Don't do it in the chat because I don't want to be dealing with that while streaming, if that makes sense. Okay, so next, after the heist, this is also another one in that 3 that I said no crossovers. The third in those 3 is Evil Incorporated. Evil Incorporated is probably going to be around about the low teens in level, and with a pure evil party group of adventurers, and they will be evil, doing evil things to good people. Simple as that. And this one I quite like the logo I came up with. I quite like that. I will be putting some stuff in there which will discourage, just random, stuff. But this one, it's entirely possible this one will be a multi-parter as well. I'm not entirely certain because I haven't written the entire adventure yet. So it may be 1 part, maybe 2, maybe even 3. You never know. So there's not a huge amount I can go on about with this one because the basic concept is you play evil people instead of playing good people. What more is there to say? Okay, finally, this is the one that I haven't mentioned to pretty much anyone. Is a thing I'm calling AdventureCraft. AdventureCraft involves two groups of players, and they get 2 sessions each. The first session that each group will have will not be streamed live. They will be recorded and put onto YouTube after the fact. The reason for this is that the first session for each party will involve the parties building a dungeon. Then the second session for each party is going to be that party running the other party's dungeon and seeing which group is more successful. That's the basic concept. I'll be coming up with, you get X amount of gold to spend, this costs this much gold, this much costs this much gold, etc, etc, etc. And eventually, people can, they'll be able to buy rooms, doors, traps, monsters to put in there. Think D&D meets Dungeon Keeper, kind of. But yeah, that's the idea, is to have it so it's entirely down to a group of players what another group of players face, and all I'll be doing pretty much is, I'll effectively be allowing one group of players to write the adventure for another group of players and vice versa, and just running it. But that's the idea. Now what I'm going to do is put that slide back up and open it up to questions regarding the stream, etc, etc, etc. Is there anything anybody would like to know? That's something I'm surprised about. Xpic doesn't actually tell me how long I've been streaming for. It tells me my bit rate, it tells me how many frames I've encoded, and it tells me how many bytes I've used, but not how long. Weird. Waiting for chat to catch up. Da, 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 da. Cool. No? Nobody's got anything they want to ask? Okay then. I didn't mention on the stream, but yes, I am planning to have a game in the near future which will probably be all but one people that have little to no experience playing D&D full stop. This music came from a site called Audio Jungle, where you can pay very reasonable rates to get licensed music. Yeah, no, because I've got there's a few people that have turned around and said, you know, I'm new to the game, etc., etc. Yeah, for some games it doesn't really work having someone you have to walk through every single step because I put more advanced this, that, and the other. But I am planning to have a game where the idea is by the end of it, you know, they'll be happy joining pretty much any group. That's what I'm hoping to do. Yeah, plus, you know, the additional time investment to help people run through making characters, all that sort of stuff. I'll be offering, you know, a guided service in that, and I'll also be, you know, having some pre-gens available which people can just go, yeah, I'll just try that. Because character building, yeah, like Sean Beck just said in the chat, is, you know, it's one of the toughest parts, is coming up with a character. Really, what's possibly best for a lot of people is to simply have a pre-gen the first time round, go, right, well, I feel like playing something that hits something, and then taking a pre-gen of a fighter, or, you know, I want to cast spells, taking a wizard, etc, etc, etc. So I'll be offering both. You know, I'll have some pre-gens built up, and then if they really want to make a character, you know, from scratch, I'll help them do that. Anything else? Well, I'll give it a few more seconds for another thing to be asked, otherwise I'll be ending the stream. I do host other streams at random intervals. Normally when I turn Fentonbot on, he has an automatic system for hosting a variety of channels. But yeah, no, I'd like to get more games both on the channel, and I'm willing to host other games as well to try and help them out and all that sort of stuff. It's entirely up to, you know, how things go. The main thing is that, you know, I've obviously can't have it, so I'm sacrificing running games for that. I just tend to use Roll20 just because I believe in full transparency, making it so everybody can see everything. You know, that's why, you know, even all the DM roles are made in complete sight of the players in Roll20. But, you know, that's just a personal style. Other DMs do things differently. I know that a lot of the folks in Tool D&D, they roll. I think they pretty much all roll off on their own real dice. I don't have people lined up for my homebrew campaign yet, but that's going to be an invite only one. I'm not going to be opening that up to public interest. I'm just going to be inviting people, at least to begin with. At the moment, I don't have a schedule because of the nature of the one shots. It pops up here, there, and everywhere, simply so that it opens up a much bigger window for players to join in. They might not be able to make one time slot, but they can make another time slot. Generally speaking, I'm going to be trying to do it so you get a good idea of when the next week at least sessions are going to be. I need to get better at that, but that's the schedule. It's a little haphazard, but it will become a little bit better organised and advertised. For example, at the moment I have no concrete dates set for any games. It certainly helps to own a copy of the Player's Handbook, because looking up your stuff. It's not entirely necessary, but it helps. Anything else? No? Okay, in which case, folks, I'm going to call it there. And I shall see you all next time I stream, which will probably be... I'm planning to do an overlays stream, showing people how I create my overlays. And there's going to be random Minecraft ones, probably in conjunction when CC streams hers, so you've got the dual screen thing going on. I'm also got other games that I want to play, which I won't be putting them on YouTube or anything, but I'll probably stream and chat with people while I play games and stuff. And I hope you all found that interesting. I will be putting this video up on YouTube as kind of like the welcome introductory type thing. So have a good one, folks, and I shall see you next time.